Vibration creates.
Yo. 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 Yo.
Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Monday, July 3rd and Tuesday, July 4th. July 4th, Independence Day 2023. I'm Astrologer Dave Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, thanks so much for being a part of High Vibe TV. Thanks so much for being a member. It will be good to be back. We're here on the trip, and yeah, we're leaving Wednesday, so I'll be doing Deep Astrology Wednesday. Everything's a little off because of the holiday this week, and this is our last trip before we are locked down parents for our baby Aurora next month. So truly appreciate it. Of course, I'm doing that awesome event with Coyote Star Astrology. You can check it out. Game of Thorns. You can purchase it now. Be part of the live. It's going to be super awesome. That's on July 21st. Well, happy full moon coming into this Monday, and of course, a big major full moon that's finishing up on Tuesday, July 4th. This is a full moon in Capricorn at 11 degrees. It's actually happening Monday morning early. Now, this is a full moon that is the last one we're going to have in our lives with Pluto and Capricorn. So there's going to be a lot of this feeling of you're still in the present moment, but you know things are changing for the future because of the understanding of Pluto that is at the last degree of Capricorn, even though it's retrograde and it's here all the way until January 20th of next year. Then it comes back September 1st of 2024. We're not done with it yet, but we're done with it as far as this is the last full moon in Capricorn with Pluto in Capricorn. So there is that understanding of feeling like there's a major shift in our lives that has already happened, but there's also the patience of it to finally come into gear. Jupiter is in awesome alignment with this full moon. And we're seeing that sun with a nice sextile to Jupiter, that full moon in Capricorn trining over to Jupiter. And so this is some good aspects here, especially reminding ourselves to look at the big picture. There's definitely difficulties. Venus has been in square to Uranus, and this is one of the major 3 squares we're going to have with Venus square Uranus. All right, and because Venus is so slow now, it's at 22 degrees of Leo. It's only going to go 6 more degrees, and by July 22nd, it's going to station retrograde. We have Mars at 25 degrees and coming to 26 degrees of Leo. So Mars has come out of a lot of the crazy stuff going on in Taurus. But of course, this is a Mars that right now is getting ready to come into a yod. We're going to start seeing the effect of that, especially as we come into Tuesday on July 4th. But this is a full moon about you remembering where you're at. Remembering that, yes, comfort can be had, but it's about remembering where you've been on the track in your life. We've got Neptune that's retrograde now in Pisces. We've got Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so this is playing into it. Saturn's actually also involved with this full moon in a positive way with the minor trine that we already saw with the sun. And of course, this full moon passing already and making its after sextile, all right? We already saw that, but it's a positive one. So we got Jupiter and Saturn that are finishing their sextile, and we've got this full moon with the 2 biggest planets. So this is game changer energy. It does feel like things are changing forever after this, especially because by Tuesday, that full moon's going to finish, and it's going to cross over Pluto for the last time while it's in its full phase over Pluto and Capricorn and coming to Aquarius. And then that's where things are really going to start to reveal some wildness, right? We're seeing this Uranus that's at 21 degrees of Taurus getting ready to come to 22 this week. So remember, we've never been this far with Uranus since the 1930s, and we're going there. This is a full moon about reminding yourself that there's difficulties no matter where you go, but it's all about understanding, you know what? Things happen for a karmic reason in life. And sometimes we not be able to see it fully. With Mercury in Cancer, we saw the Cazimi happen right before we came into the weekend, and that was about a message, right? And so we have to understand that this message has been about, one, it was in good alignment with Jupiter and good alignment with Saturn, It's about understanding that, these are big cycles right now in our life. Since 2020, since they both met, Jupiter and Saturn, we have been learning quite a lot about how to really live into this new world while living in the old world at the same time. It's about understanding the responsibility it takes to continue to have comfort in this world. And I know that can be pestering, but that's what we've all been dealing with for the last 15 and a half years. And it's not like it's going to go away, but it is one of those things to where at least I feel this is the full moon where we release any of the burdens that we might be feeling about that. Remembering in life, the good stuff comes only when we do the work, right? When we show up, when we are somebody who has to face things. And those things are definitely in our personal life. Venus and Mars doing the weirdest aspect we've ever seen. And I'll be, of course, covering that way more intense on July 21st. And I covered it on Deep Astrology a month ago with Venus and Mars that are not going to meet up here in Leo and Venus about to retrograde. So I think it's really important for us to remember that there's a lot of personal energy still and how we also deal with the outside world. Capricorn deals with the world at large, not Aquarius. It deals with the public energy, governments. It deals with the world that we see. That's one of the weird parts about why in 2020, when Saturn and Pluto met in Capricorn, it was such a big deal about the world going through its crazy thing all together at one. So like I've said, I wouldn't be weird to say that, this Monday and especially coming into Tuesday on July 4th, there's definitely something that's going to bring up something about the world here. And I think that you have to remember that you're part of this world and it sucks when it reaches to places that you have no control of. But I think that this is us taking not our control back, but taking our personal lives and our emotional energies and being more understanding of what are we building. That's what Jupiter in Taurus is asking us. Uranus is here. The North Node is finishing up. We're in July. So guess what? Just in the next 14 to 13 days, that's less than 2 weeks, the nodes change into Aries and Libra. So this is the end of this North Node in Taurus that we've been through for 18 months. We have to look that this Jupiter and Uranus is awesome. We haven't seen Jupiter and Uranus in the same sign since 2010. So this is a good time in our lives to remember that this is a really positive moment about us up-leveling in what can we create in this world. And that can only come through Capricorn and understanding, there's laws, there's boundaries, but there's also responsibilities. And this is the responsibilities in our personal life. This is one where I think it's reminding us, whether it's business or what we're doing in the world, we've learned so much. Pluto's taken us to some extreme levels, but what has been the cost in our personal lives? How can we balance these two areas out? Work, career, the world we live in, our personal lives, and then our own happiness with all this Leo, and especially Venus, that's stopping and still in square to Uranus. Now, because that Venus-Uranus is going to continue for the next 3 months, you have to remember, I'm not going to lie, at a shitty event, I haven't taken this RV out since September of last year. It's going to have to go in and get whole new fiberglass work done and the truck. That was right when Venus and Uranus were squaring. And I knew that something like it would happen, but it's like, it could have been in my car. It could have been worse. I think that this is one thing to realize everything in life could be way worse. Instead of looking at it as it's the end, it could be way worse, and actually you're more supported, because whenever you see Jupiter and whenever you see Saturn in support, especially on this full moon Monday, and then on top of it, looking at Tuesday, this is where this sun, not in the worst space, but yet this is where Mars is getting ready to come into that yod. It's going to start quincunxing over to Neptune and quincunxing over to Pluto. So, this is where the actions in our life and our personal lives to be happy, it can feel like it's a little unknown. And especially we're going to have to really be working on our subconscious energies, because we're dealing with all these outer planets. We're dealing with lots of quincunxes, a big yod coming up, and even Venus that's going to be in a major yod when she retrogrades in 21 days, depending on when you watch this, or 22 days, 21 to 20 days. So we have the nodes changing here in the next 2 weeks, and we have Venus retrograding in less than 3. So this full moon's a big also reminder of how to plan for these things. Like this Venus square Uranus, things will break, things will work out. There's a lot of relationship aspects, good and positive things if they're coming from where you're trying to build in your life to make you happy. Don't go to the past. Don't keep going to the past. Don't try to look for happiness in the past. Like I said, You can, of course, honor your past. You can have good memories, but it's not about living and building from your past as far as like literally. Of course, reflections are good of lessons that we've learned. One thing about Capricorn, since this is our last full moon in Capricorn with Pluto here, is how do we take our personal lives to the next level? And also, do we take having a purpose here? And I think that this is us also shifting after 15 and a half years what our purpose is. And that might feel daunting as far as like, I thought I was going to be this. I thought I was going to be that in my life. I thought I was going to go this direction. And you're at a point to right now, which will blow your mind. You kind of knew you were going to get to this place, but you actually didn't probably believe it was true. That's that Jupiter, that's that Saturn. And this is that Saturn and Neptune now retrograde together in Pisces, kind of blowing your mind. Especially with the Venus and Uranus square. If you're willing to be open to changes, especially when it comes to the things that you value or what makes you happy or how it looks or the direction that the universe is taking you down, if you have troubles with that, then this is going to be very difficult this full moon, because it's like, stop going against the karmic tailwinds. Stop going against where destiny is taking you. Start looking at where the stability really is at. And that stability is 100% in areas where you're building positive things. And even though we are all at this moment where we didn't think it would look like this at this moment, or we thought we were supposed to go down a different road, or if you're somebody who feels maybe your personal life sucks or it's your work life, it's one or the other, or it's both in competition, or it feels unbalanced for some, or it feels like it's just one, you get everything, and the other side you don't. It doesn't matter where you are in this puzzle. We have to learn to balance it out and realize we are also blessed at this moment with Jupiter and Saturn to be in alignment with this full moon, and for the last one with Pluto and Capricorn, to realize destiny always has a better version of our lives for our personal lives than we realize. It's about us and how we deal with it. It's about us and how we're going to combine in that beautiful transmutation of it, but also in that divine connection with it. So this is a full moon about divine connection, about understanding the perils, the changes, the accomplishments, and how far you've really come. Because you've come so far in your life. If you sit in that understanding and you absorb that understanding and you really breathe that into your life, you're going to do great. And this is really going to be a moment, no matter how scary things might seem, that it's all going to go the way that it's supposed to go, that is in alignment with your personal life, is in alignment with your happiness. And this is going to be a major time about trust. This is the last 2 weeks of South Node in Scorpio. So that trust is the illusion of it being of that it's all going to go bad. You have to trust that it's not going to go all bad. You also have to remember that it's more about, are you in acceptance of your destiny? Are you in acceptance of where all the streams have led? All streams lead to one sea. So, stop getting lost in the streams that you took at one time and that you thought would stay forever. At the end of the day, we're all ending up in the same sea. So, this is where it's also a very good time to end a lot of the karmic understandings of where you've been over the last 15 and a half years and what you believed you were supposed to be, because that's part of the problem. Chiron sitting here at 19 degrees of Aries, it's actually been at the exalted position of the sun. This is where you just have to remember, you're not going through a weird thing of who you are becoming or what you are identified as in your life and what it looks like. It's more about understanding that there's more power to access here that you can be stepping into instead of being so afraid. And this is about understanding the power that we have in our lives and how where we're at in our personal lives, wherever we're at in our mission, our spiritual lives, especially with whether it's career, it doesn't matter. It's whether or not you're willing to accept and trust you're at the exact moment right now. This has been a 15 and a half year test. And it's whether or not you really are going to do that. July 4th is going to be a wild one in America, because it's going to be important for people to put that away, because the Pluto return of America is coming back. The same sun and moon that America had in 1776 for that declaration is coming back, and during a time where the Pluto return is happening. There's going to be a time where you can't be afraid of what's happening if you're on the other side of the world, what America's doing, or you live in America and what it's doing, but it's definitely going to be the centerpiece of the show. So it's like, you really have to be in your grounded and emotionally grounded place. Remember, like I said, this is the world of the extrovert now. Of course, it doesn't mean you can't be an introvert, but it just means that it's much tougher to make it through these worlds by just sitting and watching. Capricorn's about achievement, getting to the top of the mountain. And especially that we're in all this Leo energy with Mars and Leo, heading towards Regulus, heading towards the oppositions to that Saturn, Neptune, and coming into some major other changes that we're going to be seeing when it comes into Virgo soon. So use this energy to empower yourself and understand where you're at and understand the power of what it took to get you here, and that you have more in the tank. You have more of learning to accept this reality that has brought you to this place destined-wise, and whether or not you're going to try and go up against stream because you want to feel better by actually going against the universe, or feel better by actually accepting it and finding the beauty that it is. Let's see what the card is for. It was weird. I had the Five of Pentacles underneath this, but I hadn't shuffled. But I just want to say, like, just because that showed up when I looked at it, don't be playing victim right now. It's probably over weird, stupid bullshit that could be fixed or could just be rethought or reframed in a better way into your mind, your life, and your spirituality. So don't be caught up in that. Alrighty. One more. What do we got here? Four of Pentacles reversed. You know, this is a card that is telling us, hey, let go of how you want it to look in your values. You got to be, you know, if you're still holding on to an identity that's based off, this is what I want my life to look like, this is how I want it to feel, make sure that it's coming from the right place. Make sure that it's not coming from this place of the past that actually doesn't have value. That's what I always see with this card. It's like, you know, at one time I used to value certain bands or people or things that honestly today I'd be like, what? That's not the life I want. So it's one of those things in life where it's like, stop having some sort of hold on this part of yourself that's not willing to move to the more better parts of your life in acceptance or letting things in. But it also is a good card for letting in the destiny and letting in the acceptance. Two of Cups. Boom, upright. This is definitely a great time right now to connect with where we can see eye to eye, with the connections in your life, with people, with God, with all the events that are transpiring in your life right now. Having that emotional connection and accepting it and feeling it, communicating with it spiritually and emotionally will be your best bet. And more importantly, will be the best moments that will be happening right now. No matter what it is, we are supported. No matter how bad it might look, if you see the light, there is a light at every end of every tunnel right now that you think is a tunnel. No matter what it is, it will not go as crazy or as bad as you think. You're going to have to let that go. That's what the last week and a half of all the stress has been that has brought us to this full moon in Capricorn. The last one while Pluto's in Capricorn, and the last one while we're in Cancer season, of course. We'll never see a full moon in Capricorn with Pluto. Much love to you all. I will see you when I get back on Wednesday. Well, yeah, Wednesday. I'll try July 4th. Yeah, we're leaving Wednesday morning, but you'll see me then. But I got in a bad accident with this thing, and to get out of this place, it's going to take some miracles. So and I also don't have the best internet, and I'd like I asked you all to just give me a break for this moment as I'm doing personal life things. This is our last trip to be able to be with our extended family and all of our family for the big family reunion. And I truly appreciate you all. And again, I'm rescheduling the readings. It sucked because I thought I'd come up here. The internet, it's not the same. Although I've been working on the internet to try and find some other sources. So anyway, long story short, I'll be back Wednesday. I'm around. I'll be in the community. Much love to you all. Happy 4th of July. Much love. Thanks so much.
Yo. Okay.
Ignition complete.